Hello, welcome back. In the last video, I discussed how the fall of Constantinople in 1453 to the Ottoman Empire and the subsequent closure of the Silk Road in 1474 by the Muslims to Christian traders led Western European nations to start looking to the sea as other ventures for trading options to get their spices and other goods from Asia. In 1474, Paola dal Pazzo Toscanelli sent a letter to King Alfonso V that sailing west, not south, was the fastest way to the Spice Islands in Asia. The letter was lost, but off of his memory alone, he penned another letter with a map, sending it in to fellow Italian Cristoforo Colombo, better known as by his anglicized name Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus solicited the theory to Portugal, France, England, and Spain, all of whom rejected his proposal for sailing west to Asia. It wasn't until 1492 that King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella decided to fund three ships with the intent of western exploration. The three ships were the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. Columbus sailed west, and after a brief stop on the Canary Islands, he landed in the present-day Bahamas after roughly 2 months at sea. Believing he had reached Asia, the Columbus referred to the indigenous Taino tribe as Indians, what most Europeans referred to Asians at the time. Columbus was greeted peacefully by the natives who brought food and other goods to the presumably starving Europeans after being at sea for months. Upon such interaction, Columbus noticed many of the Tainos were wearing gold as jewelry. Desperate to justify the expedition to King Ferdinand, Columbus abandoned any further search for spices and made it a personal mission to strike gold, thus starting the tradition of conquistadors sailing west to find the mythical El Dorado. Columbus named the island San Salvador. The native Lucayan people called the island Guanahari. Columbus considered the natives' weapons to be primitive, mostly because they were made out of obsidian or rocks. They rarely used iron, had very little body armor to speak of. So they would be easy to conquest and convert to Christianity. He captured several of the Lucayan people as slaves and ordered them to take him to their source of gold. He sailed the Caribbean Sea, eventually landing in Cuba. It's unclear, but off the coast of Cuba, the Santa Maria, piloted by Columbus, was separated from the Pinta, piloted by the Pinson brothers, Martin and Vincent. Some scholars assert that the ships were separated by misinterpreted signals. Others claim the Pinson brothers were trying to escape Columbus' brutal tyranny. Columbus asserted that they ditched him in an attempt to strike gold themselves. In any event, because of the separation, the lone ship, the Santa Maria, crashed off a shoal off the coast of present-day Haiti. Columbus named the island Hispaniola and on January 4, 1493 decided to sail home, leaving behind 38 men to start a settlement called La Navidad. It was called La Navidad because the Santa Maria crashed on December 25th. By chance, the Nina and the Pinta reunited on January 6th, leaving for Spain on January 8th. Columbus returned to Spain and was universally celebrated. He brought back goods completely unknown to Europeans, including tobacco, chili peppers, cacao, and some Native Americans he captured as slaves. Impressed by his accomplishments of sailing west and returning alive, but unimpressed with the amount of gold the trip yielded, King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella funded 17 more ships. When Columbus returned to La Navidad, his 39 men were killed and his settlement destroyed by a rival tribe that were at odds with the tribe he had had initial contact with. La Navidad was attacked by a chief named Caanabo, who wasn't native to the island but rose to prominence because of his skill in battle. He reportedly attacked the fort because he didn't like the treatment of the native women by the European, who often made many attempts to capture, enslave, and rape them. Columbus aligned himself with the chief he had initial contact with, Guacanagarax, who informed him that Caonabo was responsible for the attack and was planning another on the recently docked Spaniards. Armed with this new knowledge, Columbus ordered a party of 400 men into his territory to capture them. Columbus was also informed that his territory was the one that contained the most gold. The troop of 400 men proceeded into the territory and raided their local gold mines. This enraged the chief, who presented himself with several of the captains of his kingdom. Columbus then proceeded to behead two of the captains and had a captain of his troop, Alonso de Ojeda, capture Caonabo. Columbus originally stated that his voyage was to convert the natives to Christianity, but this was not the case. With the capture of Caonabo, Columbus then proceeded to take many of his people prisoners as slaves. This enraged the Taínos, leading to an army of 7,000 attempting to free their king. They were, however, easily defeated as their weapons were no match for the Spaniards' use of cannons and cavalry. Most of them were also taken as slaves and sent back to Spain, where around 50% would die at sea and the rest would arrive sick and die shortly afterwards. Even Caonabo died at sea and was given a sea burial. After these confrontations, Columbus went against the crown's orders and took more than 1,500 Arawak slaves and forced them into a system called encomienda, where the slaves would have to pay tributes in gold, cotton, and other goods to colonists, who were rewarded a token. Those found without this token would be dismembered, typically having their hands cut off. In the next video, I'm going to discuss how that present system in encomienda was replaced with African slavery. Until next time, you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.